Great seeing you here again in this new video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the actual cost, how to define the third parameter, earned value management parameter, which is the actual cost. What we're going to look at, we look at the cost to create deliverables, the actual cost to create the deliverables. So we start by defining the actual cost EVM parameter, AC. Very important parameter because it will give us the actual cost, the actual amount of money we spent to create the deliverables. We can compare the actual cost, the planned value and the earned value in the same graph that we've been looking at before, and we will discuss the properties of the actual cost. And that's the last part of this video. So let's have a look at defining the actual cost of the project. The actual cost is the actual amount of money spent to create the different deliverable. So what we're going to determine here, or what we will find in the reports, is how much money has been spent for the different deliverables related to the different activities. Now, each deliverable has a specific cost to create, and we measure how much the actual cost was to create that deliverable. How much money did we actually spend to create, for example, a bicycle or a computer or a subroutine of a project? The original name of actual cost was actual cost of work performed. So basically this is very easy to understand, is the amount of money that we spent, the number of hours a person worked on an activity over a certain time span. That's basically the idea of the actual. We look at the actual cost and we are going to compare it with the earned value. And that's very important to understand because we're not looking at the planned value. Remember, when we're comparing the actual cost with the planned value, it didn't give us the correct conclusions. We might think that the project is performing well. Nevertheless, it's not really performing very well, and that created issues. So we want to have a good idea what is our financial performance when we are working, when we are creating deliverables. And the earned value is basically the value of the deliverables. For example, we create a bicycle and our cost for that bicycle, or the value for one bicycle, will be 1,000 euro. But how much money did we actually spend to create that bicycle? For example, we can say we earn value of 1,000 euro, but our cost to create that value was 1,200 euros. So it means when we compare the cost with the earned value, the actual cost with the earned value, we can see the financial efficiency of the work that we are doing. And it's very important to compare those to evaluate what is the relationship between the earned value and the actual cost. When we look on the graph, we can see here the actual cost, the planned value and the earned value. So in the previous graph, we already defined the earned value. And what we can do now is to add the actual cost. And we see the relation here at the time t1 is that our actual cost is higher than the earned value. This means basically that to create a deliverable, we paid more than its value, which is not really good. But remember the original idea when we were comparing the actual cost with the planned value, we would say, oh my God, we are doing well, we're behind, or we're below the planned value, we're below the S-curve, which would result in the conclusion that the project is running well. Although here we already see that this is not really the case, because we have an earned value smaller than the planned value, which indicates that we are late. But we also see that we're spending more money, so our financial efficiency, we're not using our money in an efficient way. So it's very important that only looking at these three new parameters, we can identify the status of the project, both related to schedule and to cost. Now let's have a look at the properties of the actual cost. First of all, it was called the actual cost of work performed. I mentioned that before, and it's basically the actual amount that was paid to create the deliverables. It's a cumulated value of all incurred costs up to a specific time, and again we can write it as a formula, actual cost as a function of time. Like before, we don't really have a mathematical formula there, a mathematical expression, but we have the measurements of every period, how much money was spent on the different activities, hence to create the different deliverables. We compare the actual cost with the earned value, and it provides an indication of the financial performance of the project. We can now see how well are we using our budget. Are we doing it well, or are we underperforming and we are spending more than we originally planned? Now, based on all those three parameters, like I said in the previous slide, it's easy to evaluate the overall performance of the project. We can look at the expected completion time of the project, but we can also find out what would be the expected final cost of the project. And that's a very powerful parameter that we can use to make supported objective decisions. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.